The liberation of mutant kind has begun.
Welcome to the future.
Who's this clown?
Not clown, Joker.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Nobody tampers with the equipment except Tony Stark. Good idea.
United, the Avengers are strong.
Hawkeye, hands off.
Fool! Have you forgotten my invincible magnetic power?
Not this time, Magneto.
My mutant brain senses danger.
Something unseen is slowly spreading its poison, edging tempers.
Think carefully before you do this.
You filthy criminals.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You unlock this door with the...
Welcome
Push that button.
to episode 174 of Two Fat Gays Pooties. How's it going, guys? Yeah. How's it going? What's up, Joe? What's up, John? How are we doing today? How are we all doing? Hope everyone
Sorry, I
had...
lied.
What? Oh, that
I
you're
said
not in
y'all
your
were going
room.
to see this background again, and it just...
Hey, but at least your mic is set up properly. I can hear you properly. It's all good. You're talking into the mic. It's perfect. I think.
Hello.
There it is. Yep, I can hear you. It's great. Anyway, welcome, guys, to Two Fat Guys Pulls. This is episode 174, or issue 174. And yeah, it is good. What's up, James? How you doing?
Hey, man.
Howdy. Yeah, I hope everyone's had a relaxing and I don't want to say uneventful weekend, but I hope you've just been good. I hope
Non-stressful.
Exactly. Let's just leave. I hope the stress was left at the door after Friday, and everyone's chill, and hopefully everyone's looking forward to a week. I am. I know I am. I'm looking forward to my week. I've got some cool stuff lined up, and I got some cool work stuff to do, and I'm comics. Like next week, I'm actually really excited for comics. Like
You got a big week next week.
I know you do. I've got.
One of these days, you're going to like indie comics and read some of them.
Shut up. I have 2 indie comics next week.
2?
I tried.
Good job.
Listen, I tried this week to get your the Russian book. I tried, but they didn't get it in the shop. They didn't have it.
Well, I'm just going to go ahead and spoil it. Thank God.
Oh no. Okay. Well, see, and that's the thing. That's where I'm like, I don't know. Anyway, no, next week's because you know why I'm excited for next week. Like why I'm excited.
I know. You're green goddess.
Oh, anyway, let's talk about this week. But before we talk about this week, let's talk about our show's sponsor, and that is Collected Comics and Games here in the DFW area. That is right. That is Nate and I's LCS here in Fort Worth. But they have 3 locations. They have one in Fort Worth, they have one in Keller, and they have one. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, one in Keller and one in Irvine. Right? Irvine. I don't know. Whatever. They're great stores. Brent and Ron do a great job of curating some amazing stuff in those shops. And if you're in the DFW area, we'd love for you to go hit up Collected Comics and Games, where you can get new comics, back issues, collected editions, hardcovers, epics, trades. I think I said trades already. Omnibus, action figures, trading cards, board games, D&D books, D&D pieces, like little miniature figures that you can paint. You can get posters. You can get they've got snacks, they've got beverages, they've got statues, they got models, they've got pins that you can put on your jacket, they've got little patches, they've got stickers, and they've got plushies. Anyway, it's a great store, and I would love for you to go check it out. If you're not in the DFW area, though, you know what else you can do? You can go to staycollected.com and get all that stuff on their website. So there's no reason why you can't go check out our show sponsor, Collected Comics and Games, whether in there in person or online. So please go check them out today. We would much appreciate it. Also, before we get the show started, we got to talk about our milestone subscriber giveaway. We are on the road to 1,250 subscribers, and when we hit that sub goal, we're giving away. Hold on, I'm going to switch it down here because I got the 2,000 right here in front of me. But when we hit 1,250 subscribers, we're giving away this Uncanny X-Men #1 signed by Jim Chung, 9.8 CGC grade. It is an amazing looking book. It's very cool. X-Men are obviously on the rise at the moment with everything that's going on with them over at Disney. So you're going to want to be subbed if you want to win this bad boy right here. So also, when we hit 2,000 subs, we're giving this away. It's a Nick Klein sketch variant of Thor #1, signed by the great Donnie Cates, 9.8 CGC grade. We're giving this away when we hit 2,000 subs. So please make sure to hit that sub button, ring that bell, and give us a like. All right, let's get to chat. We said what up to Joe and John.
Thank you, Joe.
And James. We've got James, all the other James. Evening, everyone. What up? Canadian Survivalist has got the peace sign. What's up? Joe, great voice. Nate, comic ASMR. Nate's nickname is Indy500. John with the $5 super chat. He says, I don't want to be too negative, but this week felt flat for me. If I had to pick my top 3, it would have been Uncanny Valley, X-Men, or Weapon X-Men, and Redcoat. All right, all right.
Isn't it just so great that every week we're just like, everyone's just having comic experiences?
Yeah, that's.
I think this is one of the best weeks that I've had all year. Top 10.
Right. Okay. Well,
5? Might even be top 5.
For you, not for everyone.
That's what I'm saying. For me.
James says, my oldest graduate from Hoto, is that how you say it? Hutto. Hi. This Thursday, gonna try to hit up some comic shops in Austin. Any suggestions?
I have not been to any shops in Austin.
I have. So the one that I know of, and I'm sure it's probably like the mainstay, is I think it's just called Austin Comic Book Shop or Austin Comic Book. I believe so. I know it's on South Lamar. That they've got a great selection. Also, there's Dragon's Lair as well. They've got comics. They're more game oriented, but they do have comics. I don't think they have a really big back issue collection, whereas that Austin Comic Books or Austin City Comics has a huge back issue catalog. I mean, they've got comics and trades and action figures. I mean, they've got everything. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Ron and Brent know the owners down there of them, and I think they've done some partners with them as well. So there are comic book stores in Austin, but I would suggest those two for sure. Anytime I go to Austin, I go to both of those. Nice. So that would be my suggestion there. Joe says my pick of the week is Doom. Very close second is Uncanny Valley. Well, Doom.
I'm bummed that I missed out. I forgot about that book. I wanted to read the second issue and I just completely forgot.
It's all good, man. It happens. Like, it's not, don't beat up yourself. Don't do that to yourself. All right, well, let's go ahead and get it started. First up from Boom Studios, we have House of Slaughter issue number 23.
Very nice.
What are you doing? Nice. Were you like tweaking your nipples? What were you doing there?
Hey, when you feel it, you feel it. I don't know what else to tell you.
Okay, all right.
And I was feeling this book.
A little bit of nipple play just taking off the show. All
right. I've been talking ever since we started this arc. This is the 3rd issue of this arc that I've been like, finally, we're back to it. We're back to where we wanted to be.
No problem, James.
We're hardcore firing on all cylinders. Like,
okay.
I believe this is the best arc of the entire series so far. And
all right.
This is rivaling Something Against Killing the Children arcs. And the reason why I say that is because, at least for me, because I'm a huge sucker for backstory and world building and political intrigue, and we're just getting all of that. We're getting all of that back there. So not only are we getting are we seeing a little bit of Jace and like what's going on, what his motivation is. That old woman from the first issue of the arc is still watching the kids out in the swamps. Mm-hmm. And he goes back there while they're all sleeping. He wants to see them one more time before he goes to do the big thing where he thinks he's just going to kill them all. He thinks he's going to eliminate both houses. And the old woman's like, stop. Nope. Like, get the kids and get out of here. Like, what are you doing? Like, you dead is not going to help them. I'm old and shit. Like, I can't do this. And he's just like, nope. Totally blinded by revenge and rage. And in the meantime, you've got the two houses sort of like going like, well, shit, he just kind of walked into our plan and just killed whoever he wanted and then walked away again.
You did.
So yeah, we're getting both houses that are trying to work together, and in the background, they're scheming against each other. The redheaded girl or woman that's part of the house butcher who was raised with Jace, who they were close friends, the one on the cover here. She's officially gone off the edge. She's gone crazy. We see her I don't remember what the word is for, duplicity, I think. The one that, you know how they have the monster that hunted them, they trap it into like a thing, like Erica is that plushie. Remember that like plushie with the X on the eye?
I know plushies. Yeah.
I knew you'd remember that one. Anyway, hers is just like this giant monster, and she calls it Daddy. It is very scary. It is very crazy.
Daddy.
Not like that, but yes.
Okay. You gotta differentiate, because when you say that.
Yeah. And this, we honestly don't get a lot of violence. There's no like huge head cutting off sort of thing, or like eyes getting gouged out or anything, but it's really, really, really setting the foundation for what I think is going to be a pretty epic 4 and 5 issues 4 and 5 in this arc. So it did everything right. It like the art was tip top for this stuff. Like the writing was so good. It flowed really well. It was a great read. I like finished the book and it was like, this feels like a solid issue. Like I got my money's worth. It was great. Like that. It was really good. Very, very close to being my pick of the week.
Love that feeling. Always love that feeling when you read a comic book. I've got one book that did that for me quite well. Yeah. All right, next we have Fish Flies from Jeff Lemire, issue number 6. How weird did it get?
So I don't think anyone's gonna be surprised, but it's my pick of the week. It was honestly really close. But the reason why this is my pick of the week is because this book, never in a million years could I have imagined that what we got from this book is what we got. And that sounds like it's really out of left field, and to a certain extent it is, but in the perfect way. So for those reading, you're trying to keep up. The last thing we saw was Franny and the bug man by the river. The bug man falls in, and right behind her is that old woman and old guy who've been tracking down the bug people forever. And there's all those weird Celtic symbols in the woods. Well, the mother of the boy who gets shot at the very beginning of the story, that's her here cover. She goes to the town psychic and is like showing her the pictures of all the Celtic signs and stuff. She's like, "What is this?" And the woman is like, I do this just for a living, right? None of this is real. Like the tarot readings and the magic ball, like I just tell people they want to hear. Like this is for a job. And she like kind of starts having like a nervous break, and then all of a sudden, you think she's having like a snap, like she's gone. And this is all within the first like 2 pages. And the entire issue is a flashback from like settlers in the 1800s settling in this town for the first time in Canada. And it's this family from Ireland, and they come in, and there's like these, I don't know, like gang, like family gang that's like trying to take their land and stuff like that. And they end up setting fire to the house. The dad goes out there, tries to kill him. They shoot him between the eyes. The son goes out there, is like, "No, my dad." He gets shot in the stomach because the guy gets spooked. And she basically uses like pagan Celtic symbolism and religion to like, she gets a guy at gunpoint, takes him to the woods. He gets into this like demonic circle. She shoots him in the guts, and all the fish flies come out and start getting him and eating him. And then he gets turned into the very first bug guy, like the big bug guy. And she tells him, "Go kill your family. Go every single last one of them." Christ. And he just goes and fucking slaughters his entire family. Oh my god.
It's all good. You're good. Technical issues, but hold on. But before as you keep going, it was almost like a little bit of a break here. Joe coming in with the super chat, $10. Want to send some love for everything y'all do for the comic community. Spreading love and respectful criticism is why this channel is the best for comic reviews. We appreciate that, Joe, so much. Thank you, nice. Dude. You fucking rocked it. And then Jaden says, am I the only one that's like 14 seconds behind in the live? Really annoying. Interesting. I don't know. We do have a delay, I know that, so that might be an issue. But all right, good halftime. Okay, keep going.
Yes, great. Anyway, so we kind of see the origin of these bug people, and it's almost is this Celtic curse is almost there, and it gets people who like hurt innocent children. Because that's what we've seen in the past. We see every time innocent children get hurt, they get fucking turned into bug people. And so it was really cool. We get to see the origin of what's going on here, get a glimpse into that, and then now the mother is like, oh yeah, no, I know what to do now. I know what's she kind of leaves, and right as she's about to leave, the woman calls her back and says, hey, you left your cell phone, your phone's ringing. She picks it up, and her son has passed away in the hospital.
Ooh.
And that's how the issue ends. And I was just like,
damn.
Well, this lady about to go psycho, and Celtic pagan demonic people gets, I don't know, like go crazy on them.
That's crazy, dude.
But yeah, it was just like, you know, like as soon as you know, like you think, expect what this book goes, now we're going to origin story 1800 settler Canada with Irish settlers.
See, like sometimes when books do that, it can just be a complete like throw off. But I can't see Jeff Lemire doing that and it not work.
No, and his art really shined. He gave himself a lot of big splash pages, and his color theory in this is just really good.
Yeah, I can imagine. I remember that first book that I read. It was bonkers. So cool, dude. Well, that is Nate's pick of the week.
That's Nate's pick of the week.
All right, let's keep moving on. All right, next up, we've got Napalm Lullaby, issue number 3 from Rick Remender. And, I mean, I enjoyed this book. I thought it was really good. A lot of, obviously, symbolism, religious, authoritarian symbol? Is that right? There you go. Really good. I think the artwork was really good. The similarities between, like, just the commentary, the social and political commentary that Remender is talking about, I think was good. The tension that was being built in this issue was really good with one of our psychics getting ready to explode. Yeah, like about to explode. It was good. I liked it. I think for me, what got me was the very end when, you know, this whole time that they're in this city, they have to basically stay quiet. If they show any kind of negative emotion or negative criticism towards the religion, they'll get caught. And their father figure, who I can't remember who he is.
It's their dad.
Is it their dad? Okay, their dad. He's basically telling both of them to, like, both of the kids, like, shut the fuck up and stay in line. And they can't seem to keep a hold of themselves. And then when he finally is able to, like, just basically say, like, hey, shut up and listen to me, the dude literally gets toasted into like a skeleton. Yep, so he's gone, and we've got this, like, you know, Power Girl-esque person showing up, getting ready to fight our two psychics. So things are starting to heat up in the book, but I think, you know, the development within the issue is obviously necessary to set the tone even more of, like, what we're dealing with here, what we're commenting on, what we're fighting against, and just the seriousness of, like, how laziness, if we're being honest, can be dangerous. And I don't know, it's obviously a very deep issue. I liked it. I thought the artwork was really good. What I like is that the book is starting to gain even more focus. You know, we've said in the past 2 issues, like, we're still in this kind of haze of not knowing exactly everything that's going on, and now this issue really establishes, like, the weight of the situation of the book, the weight of what our heroes are trying to achieve and what they're trying to upend. And I like that. I thought it was good. But the hook at the end was where I was like I was literally reading it and I was like, oh shit. Like, I like, you know, and that's, whenever I say that, that's an immediate criteria for it potentially being my pick of the week. And this book was incredibly close to being my pick of the week.
Yeah, mine too. Like, it was honestly, it was just my independence, pretty much. Like, totally stole the show. Also, like, the very final, like, all right, dude gets vapor, and then we literally get, like, a super villain. Like, we straight up get, like she's like the janitor, and she's like a straight up, like, super villain.
Like, there was no time.
Looks like one.
Yeah, she looks like Power Girl. Like, that's what she looks like.
She looks like evil Power Girl. Yeah, that is exactly right.
Mm-hmm. Anyway,
I think this book is great. I mean,
yeah,
we talked about this last week when we were doing Sacrificers, his other book, but like any sort of like overt tongue-in-cheek criticism of this like religious oligarchy that we're kind of seeing in America right now, I'm totally about. And obviously when you do like a personalized story with it, when you give like a really cool sci-fi element, and then now we're throwing in supervillains, I'm on board.
I'm gonna go ahead and say like this is rising very quickly to being one of the year's pick of the weeks, like or pick of the years essentially. Like it's getting there. It's getting very close in my opinion. All right, let's keep moving. And I know I think this will be quick. Like we didn't really miss anything here.
This will be quick. So there is a possibility that this, I will say that something I am confident in is that the execution of the writing on this is very poor.
Oh no.
It was hard to follow. The writing felt like it was translated from another language. Didn't flow properly. It didn't. It was impossible to tell. Like you have word bubbles. You know who's saying what.
Right.
Except it didn't make any sense because it was almost like every character's interaction, regardless, they were new characters every time. Any character interaction, they were just finishing each other's sentences. Like what? Like how is a stranger bartender talking to a detective that he's never met in his entire life? How are they finishing each other's sentences?
Right.
It's very awkward. It was very weird. The art was good. The art was nice. It's a very similar kind of style to what we're seeing in House of Slaughter. I don't have any critiques there. I think that looked good. The story just made no sense, or the execution made no sense. The plot, the actual story that we have here is old and tired and done before. It's essentially a detective stumbles upon a dead body. They think it's just a prostitute. Some drunk guy beat her up and killed her, and he gives it to. He doesn't even want to deal with it. He gives it to his like fellow detective guy. He's like, "Hey, he sucks at it. This is a close case. You have it." Well, turns out this is like a KGB hit, something like that. That detective was supposed to get it because he is a dirty detective and will cover up KGB stuff. And now he's fucked up by giving it to this guy who's like a super honest, super thorough guy. And he's already found out that they lied about her identity. And he's going to discover the truth. And like, okay, sure. Kind of sounds interesting. It's definitely a story I've seen and read and watched about 10, 15 times. So, I'm not trying to poo-poo on it too much, but really the thing that, if this book had been executed well, the awkward pacing and writing and finishing each other's sentences, if that had all been cleaned up, I'd probably go back for an issue 2. It's Mad Cave. I like to give them extra leeway. No, there's no way.
You out.
It would. Done.
Okay. All right. Nope. I mean, yeah. All right. I'm sure this was like incredibly close to being your pick of the week.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's not really fair because like this I gave a 4.5 stars, so it's really hard to choose.
Right.
But yeah, this book was wonderful. We get a lot of the things from the first book that I really enjoyed. We get here too. So we get a lot of this like we get a lot more character growth in here. We get a little bit more backstory on finding out what happened to our main character and how she survived. She basically was found by like a roaming bard guy, and he kind of like helps her. He thinks she's straight up dead, and he's like, "Oh, the least I can do is give you a proper burial." And he like goes to like pull the arrow out of her, and she like grabs her hand and is like, So the whole problem was that the Adventurers Guild is the town that she's running this tavern. She's like started a new life, living real slow, and the guy that's the one that shot her and tried to kill her is the one that shows up, and he basically tries to play it off, and then in secret he whispers, he's like, "I'm going to finish the job that I thought I already did," and she's obviously like trying to figure out what's going on. The atmosphere here is just like quintessential Tolkien fantasy though. Like it's just so it's D&D Tolkien fantasy. It's we've got the tavern and we've got the dwarves and we've got bards and their lutes, and I don't know. It's a lot of fun, and it's really entertaining. Like all of the characters, especially this issue, the character growth helped a lot. Because the first issue, while I really enjoyed it, felt like a very, very sprawling blanket. A lot of information, a lot of stuff, but very, very shallow. Here we finally get some depth with our characters and what's going on. I'm very interested to see how our main character is kind of going to deal with this, because not only is she trying to get she obviously needs to figure out how to survive this guy. And she hasn't fought for years, so we don't know if she's going to be able to defend herself or like what's going on. I imagine she will, but I don't know. There's a lot to enjoy here. The art is good, the atmosphere is good. Also, this is probably very particular to me, but I don't know if the creative team is Scottish, but everyone's accent in here is Scottish. All the names are Scottish. All the locations are Scottish. I love it. I love it so much, and I can hear their accents in my head so well, because it's enough that you can hear the accents, but it's not enough for you to get overwhelmed.
See, what was I gonna say? I think this week was a incredible week for just like character development and plot movement. Like, if there was a consistency in a lot of our books this week, I would say that would be it. So
I totally agree.
Yarp.
Yeah, if you like fantasy, this is the number one book that you need to be.
There you go. All right, let's jump over to Marvel. We're going to kick it off with Doom, giant-sized one-shot from Sanford Green and Jonathan Hickman. And this, unsurprisingly, is my pick of the week.
That's Jim's pick of the week.
This was fucking awesome. I know, a lot of things. I did not pick that up this week, John. I actually have not been picking up Skull Crusher. That one has fallen to the wayside.
I forgot about that.
Well, a lot of our indies didn't come in this week.
That's the other problem.
So, but back to Doom. Before I even read this book, like, I was jumping on TikTok and Instagram, and people were talking about it. Like, I was seeing reviews coming in. I was like, shit, I can't watch this. But like, they would always preface like, this book's amazing, and then they would go into the review, so I didn't watch it. So I was like, well, I guess I'm reading this first. Like, I usually I try to read my independents first, but I was like, no, I'm reading Doom first. So I read it first, and the minute I finished it, I texted you and it was like, bitch, you need to read this. Like, I was like, this book is insane. You need to read it. It's like got two of your favorite characters in Marvel. Like, you're gonna lose your mind. And I told you this in a pre-show notes. Like, this, if I had not known who was writing this book, I would have told you that this was a Donny Cates book. Like, this felt and looked like a Donny Cates book. And I'm not saying that to take anything away from the two creators. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm just telling you, like, it had that vibe, because it was a very like multiversal, Elseworld type of story, and it just had the antics that Donny Cates is known for, which is like, you've got Galactus, who has gone beyond mad in hunger and is wanting to basically obliterate the entire universe to create it over again, to the point where he's fighting Celestials and saying like, nah, dude, like, I'm stronger than you. And you're like, what? Like, and then you've got Doom, who's, been set up with this vibranium I don't know how you say it, the stone Uru suit that Valeria made him. You've got all the heroes within Earth and the universe getting their asses handed to them and being killed by Galactus. Like, it just felt like a Donny Cates book. Like, just the narrative itself, like, all hope is lost, and there's this one person who it is up to stop everything. I don't know, man. It felt great. John, I do say that I liked him, but it felt rushed to me. I can see that. I can understand that criticism, because I will say, when it ended, it just ended, right? But my counter criticism to that point, or not, my counterpoint to that is, what do you do next after the book's ended, right? Like, all of existence has basically been obliterated, and it's just Doom and Galactus. Like, what do you do? Like, there's nothing. There's nothing like outside of like there being a little bubble saying, and Galactus and Doom went off into the sunset and created a new universe. Like, literally, that's probably the only other thing you could have done. I don't know. I mean, what do you think? Like, I don't know what else you could have done. I'm sure there's a way to wrap it up better, but I totally understand the creative direction they did with ending it the way they did, because the way it ended, yes, I was disappointed in the ending, but I was more disappointed in the sense that I was like, I want more, because it was such a fun ride.
John said it before I could. I think we just needed battles. I think we needed a little bit more like, I don't know. Just let Sanford Green just fucking
just keep going. Yeah, no, I agree.
I think that's probably what would have made me the most happy. But I think also probably what Hickman was trying to do, completely open-ended so that you could determine what the outcome is going to be.
Right. And anybody else can do that too.
Not, I don't know.
Well, anyone else can too. Like, like this is obviously not, or well, we say it's not canon, but it's the way that it's left open-ended. Anyone can grab it and say, "Oh, remember when this happened?" You know, like, sure. or whenever there's a a Marvel 1000 that references Doom by Hickman, like that's where this will come into play. And I think, again, we criticize a lot of books, mainly DC books, that do this kind of shit. But to me, the way they did it makes more sense than what they're doing over at DC. Like with DC, they use footnotes. They lazily use footnotes. Like, oh, yeah, just use that. And then, well, we won't have to explain it, where with Marvel, I feel like, I'm sure it could be a bias, but like for me, I feel like Marvel, it seems like, puts a little bit more thought into when they put those kind of bubbles in books. But overall, I liked it. I the coloring, the lettering, the artwork, the writing, it just slapped. And I do agree, and I do acknowledge completely, John, your criticism of it being a little rushed and it being a little too open-ended. But I thought it was great. I finished it going again, here's another comic that just makes me, and this sounds so stupid, but it just reminds me why we got into the hobby. There are books that come out that just click, that just make you go, oh my God, I want to keep, and you just want to keep reading. And then by the time you get done with your pull, you're like, okay, there were a couple misses there, but overall, you have this enthusiasm. And I truly, I'm going to go into this other rant here. I truly believe, Nate, you've said a couple times on the show now that superhero comics for you are kind of starting to fall off a cliff a little bit. Yeah. And you're getting more into indies, and I think that's perfectly fine. But to me, I feel like we're on the cusp with Marvel. I think we're really close with Marvel, where we're going to get into this newfound formation within the new books that we're getting. And will there be misses? 100%. But I feel like we're on the cusp of getting some really kick-ass ongoings from Marvel. And it's all because of McKay. It's all because of what's going on here. And to an extent, seeing what is coming out, what books are being announced for the X-Men, has got me a little excited. We're getting a Storm book. We're getting a fucking Dazzler book. Storm's about to be an Avenger. And McKay's writing Storm. That's got me excited. Are there other X books that are coming out that I'm not too excited about? I'm not picking up 100%. I'm not picking up Wolverine. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it. I'm not getting sucked back into it. Now, anyone, cool on it. No, I'm well, anyone can quote that. I'm sure when it comes out, I'm like, oh my God, Wolverine, but I just feel like Marvel is just moving in a direction where I think it's gonna get exciting again. And I think we had to have, a Deadpool run that's okay, this ain't that good. We had to have a Captain Marvel run that we're oh God, this is not really that good. Right. And we had to have a fumble of an ending for X-Men so that we can actually get excited about X-Men again. Right. We'll have to wait and see. But this book makes me incredibly excited. And we're not even talking about the main players for Marvel in this book. Like, we're not talking about, like, next week we're going to be talking about McKay. Like, it's gonna happen because his Blood Hunt, like, he has kicked off Blood Hunt in such an amazing direction that I am so stoked for. And I just went on a rant about not this book. This book was great. It was fun. Yeah. And I love this cover. And there are other covers that are great too.
This book should be like the obvious call that, like, why is Safer Green not doing anything? Like, I understand, like, he's had some creator stuff before, but like, man, like, I don't know. Like, call Cantwell up, tell him to do issue 11 of his Doom Run and put Green on the.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. All right, let's get to Joe's halftime question. Does comics have a diverse problem for ongoings? DC only black lead hero book finishing with John Stewart GL, and Miles is Marvel's only ongoing, and indies barely have any as well. Thoughts?
Very, very.
I would
very
I
clearly
think,
they have.
Yeah, they have a problem. I would agree with that. I'm trying to think of my indies right now.
Yeah, I was actually looking at mine, and it's way more sparse than I would. And here's how you know part of the problem is that I had to go look at a list just to be able to tell, and yeah, there's not a ton here.
I mean, Dawn Runner is, you're dealing with.
So, Rom V was specifically who I was going to mention because Rom V is doing a lot of good work in this field, except a lot of his characters are racially ambiguous, and so the nature of representation. You can look at it in Dawn Runner. You can look at it in what's the other thing? The One Hand that he's doing right now with Dan Waters. And I would say that the only book that I can really think of is his that's got very, very clear racial and cultural representation. Man, we're missing a lot.
The other one I'll say is Miss Marvel. But again, we're only picking out one or two,
and that's a limited series. That's not an ongoing.
Yeah, it's an ongoing. Yeah.
I think Ultimate Black Panther is the only other one that we have.
Yeah.
That sucks, I think it's a very clear. I think it's very clear.
Yeah. Well, let's get on it. Let's everybody, raise your voice and let's get it onto it. Let's, if we got to write them and say, hey, give us more of these, like, let's get it, because
let's do it.
I mean, Miss Marvel, we'll talk about it. Like, I love this week. I love that we're getting a Storm book. I love that she's being part of the Avengers. Ultimate Black Panther is amazing. I want a Captain America book with Falcon in. I know that we had one, but I never read it because it just didn't.
That was 10+ years ago.
10+? Wasn't there a run where there were 2 Captain America books with him as?
Well, it's not. He's not the lead though. He's the co-lead.
True. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think there is a problem, and I think the only way that it's going to get fixed is we use this channel, we use our community, and we say, hey, look, we want more of this. We want more of it. Because it sells. It does. It totally does. It just, we need it. We need more of it. So let's see here. Joe talking about Doom. This book felt like an old school annual. I'll be down to have 4-issue story and then give me the main artist a break for a guest artist like Alex Ross or Brooks to team up with the green story. I will say this did feel like an annual, and it's like an annual that I actually wanted to read because I told you guys, like, I am not big on either DC or Marvel's annuals right now. Like, they just like we're getting ready to do like an Infinity annual with Thanos. Like, nope, I'm not doing it. I'm not fucking doing it. Sorry, guys. I'm just not. Yeah. I apologize in advance. I feel like most 6-issue arcs are so watered down and stretched out to fit trade format. Jaden says, I feel like they're a bit of a problem. I'm definitely bored by Miles, and I like John, but meh. I've read a ton of black indie books, but the marketing for them isn't great. Well, I think that's the other issue, is like, the publishers aren't putting the marketing dollars behind the books. They're not. It's after the fact, right? Like, oh, you see the trade and you didn't get the singles. Well, what the hell, right? Like, there's a conscious effort within the publishing groups they're just not pushing. They're not pushing it. Like, do we have diversity within the writing groups? I think so. Like, but they're not writing black characters. They're not writing, the minority characters. They're being asked to write Deadpool. They're reading but who knows? Like, that's an assumption, right? Like, we don't know if who's writing Deadpool right now?
Cody Ziegler. We
don't know. Like, Ziegler might have gone and go like, yo, I want to write Deadpool. Like, that's the other thing, is we're making an assumption, but at the same time, like, I agree, we need more of it. Like, we need more of it for sure. Joe, is Blade canceled? Ultimate Black Panther and Black Panther should be added to Miles. Blade is done and Black Panther has been done. I know that, yeah. Damn, you're kind of right. Hopefully Storm catches on, but people are nervous because the writer has almost no credits. Well, maybe they can prove themselves. There was a solo Sam Wilson Cap book not too long ago, 2 years ago. Yeah, that's what I thought. Which is pretty damn good. Radiant Black. Does Radiant Black have black characters?
Been off that for a while. I'm not sure.
I know, and I'm trying to remember the group. Remember there were 2 females. I felt like the white Radiant Black or the yellow. No, it was the yellow. Wasn't he black? I can't remember. Yeah, then Stewart. Yeah, John Stewart's Philip Kennedy Johnson's book just got canceled. So, yikes. Yeah, it's up to the publishing groups. They need to do a better job of marketing it. I'm not going to say that the comic shops need to do a better job of it. I know that Ron and Brent do a really good job of showcasing their books and making sure that you know about certain books when they come out. Like, they don't have I've never run into that at Collected. Like, they're everyone at Collected, whether it's Ron, Brent, Lee, Mike, Sarah, I know I'm missing some people. They do a great job of curating new and back issued stories to make sure that like what's available. So like, yeah. And I think most comic book shops do that. Like I've never been into a comic book shop and got like, that's weird. You know what I mean? Like there always seems to be. I think that's part of the culture. I think that the comic book shops in general, like that's what they're there for. It's community based. It's for the forefront of talking about diversity and inclusion. So
I don't know. I think we're pretty spoiled with that. There are some.
You think so?
I do.
Well, we don't want to call out names, but
no. I'm not calling out any names. I'm just saying there are some.
Guess so. Well, Spawn is black. That is true. That's true. Isn't there one called like Rat City that's out? That's kind of like the Spawn 2099 going out right now from Image. I'm almost certain there is. I thought I saw that on Comic Hub the other day, where it's like Spawn in the future. But all right, let's keep moving. Miss Marvel, Mutant Menace, dude. All right, so issue 2 was kind of like this. What are we doing? Kind of floating around, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. We were dealing with the Mojoverse. And it was fine. Like it was definitely a 90s callback. But this, holy shit, dude. Like, talk about a question that I had never thought about. So, in this Krakoan age, we've got mutants dying left and right, and then being resurrected left and right. Right? And when I saw this cover, I was like, oh, multiversal jump. We've got zombies coming in and fighting. But nope. Yeah. We have Orcus, or a sect of Orcus, taking and finding the dead bodies of mutants and programming them to hunt other mutants.
Oh, good lord.
No, it was really cool.
No, I don't mean that in a bad way.
Remember, like, they kind of teased that when they started resurrecting, like, exoskeletons of Wolverine and putting, like, cybernetics in them. And I was like, okay, that's kind of cool, but, like, it kind of just fell off. This shit was dope, dude, because like Kamala's having this conversation with Red Dagger, and then out of nowhere you see this like this beam come out, and they even make it like, oh shit, is it a zombie Cyclops? It's like, no, that is a previously dead version of Cyclops fighting us, like has been programmed to fight us. And then we get like Cannonball and Jubilee and Nightcrawler, and like they all show up to fight her. So it was really cool. And then it's kind of hinted that the person that's doing this, who is the scientist in the first arc, who has kind of gone rogue, it would appear that she's about to deploy the body of Kamala because she died. And it looks like she's like, it's hinted that in the next issue, we're about to get the zombified, reprogrammed version of Kamala coming after Kamala.
Oh.
And that's got me going like, yo, that looks badass. Oh, and by the way, she's still glitching out. Like her body's still like going crazy. And
Right.
who shows up at the end? The fucking Inhumans. They are back. They are here, and I'm pretty sure they're going to solve the riddle of what Miss Marvel's mutant gene is, and they're going to do some reverse engineering with the Tarragon Mist and get her gene to pop up, and we are going to get Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, the actual mutant menace. And it was cool. Like I didn't really have a lot of high expectations for this book. This was more of my silly goose time, and we got some legit plot development here. And I think in the next issue, we will genuinely get some kind of either retcon or actually plot movement onto what the Tarragon Mist actually did to Kamala and blocking her mutant gene and giving her inhuman powers.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to actually see her mutant gene. Will it be her mutant powers? Will it be the power that she has in the show where she's bending light and creating like these light crystals? Probably. I don't know. If you want there to be a similarity between the comics and the shows, then that's probably the direction we're going to go. Only time will tell. But this issue was super fun and was unexpected. It was great. I
love
I'm excited. I'm excited, and hopefully it continues. Hopefully we get another 6-issue mini. Just keep going.
I'm curious your answer to Joe's question there.
Let's see here. Are y'all grabbing NYX? I think that will be Miss Marvel's lead team book. Yes, I will be. There are only a few X books that I'll probably pick up the first issue, and if it doesn't like wow me, I'm out. But I am trying to have the most open mind possible for X books. And we'll see what happens. If you don't impress me, I'm not picking you up. But for the most part, I'm trying to pick up every X book that comes out. Like that's gonna be,
That will probably be one that I need you.
Okay.
About it.
Well, isn't the NYX? Isn't that the one that like Jubilee's on and she's on? Let's see.
I don't remember. I'm so inundated that right now I don't even know if I'm going to pick up. So
let's see.
I'm certainly not currently looking into picking up any of the side ones. Like I'll probably pick up McKay. I might pick up Uncanny with Gail Simone. Maybe I pick up New X-Men is what Eve Ewing is writing. But
aren't you picking up Storm?
Yeah, I'll pick up Storm.
Let's see. So the group is all right, let's see here. So the group is Miss Marvel, X-23, one of the Cuckoo Sisters. I don't know who the other two are. They're from previous books. Let's see. I'm picking it up. Like if Kamala's on it, I'm picking it up. I'm picking it up. It's gonna happen. I probably will do Phoenix too. What's up, y'all? 5 upcoming X-Men books. Mine is Phoenix, X-Men proper, Uncanny X-Men, Exceptional X-Men, and Wolverine. Gotcha. Nate's getting Cyclops. Oh, he's definitely getting. Who's writing Cyclops? Isn't someone writing?
Book that's not happening. That was
no.
That was the Jed McKay book.
Guys, you watch next week. Like next week, it's gonna get announced. Like Cyclops. Like it's gonna happen. It's weird seeing NYX with Miss Marvel. I was obsessed with the 2003 NYX. I just saw that. I never read that. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep moving. Ultimate X-Men issue number 3. Yo, this issue slapped.
I actually care about.
this issue slapped. We got some character development. We actually got some backstory. The pacing it didn't feel nearly as rushed as the second issue, but I feel like, because the second issue was rushed, it almost felt like we needed to get to this point, and I was here for it. I will say, I don't know if it was intentional or not, but I was like, wait, what's going on? And then like when it ended, I was like, oh, that was a whole origin story for our basically our Storm character. And then we're getting glimpses of other mutants, and I'm like, oh, here we go. Like Peach is cooking. She's building her world, and we're getting more mutants, and we're about to get like this all-female X-Men team. Like, let's fucking go. Like, I am very excited for this book. Again, like, I love the format. I love the art style. I love the watercoloring. It's doing everything for me. It's Peach Momoko. Like, I can't say anything bad about it because it's amazing.
We do keep saying the same thing, but like, this is the kind of in Marvel, or I mean, in superhero comics, I don't know, it's getting stale. It's getting stale. I know that, like, I don't know, in some way, we always kind of go through this with superhero comics, but for me, this feels like the most stale it's been for a while. So this is like, every time I see this book, I'm like, this is what I'm excited for.
Yeah, and John says, I like this issue, but it felt like 10 pages long, powerful scene with the father. Like, I understand, I get that, and I think with this issue, it's more of, you have to go in it with, like, you need, I'm not saying, I know I go into it, like, taking my time, looking at every page, and looking at the detail of the artwork, because it's not all going to be in the words that are spoken. It's going to be more of the, fluidity of the artwork and what we're showing. And that's how I do it, because like, I know it's gonna read fast. I know it is, because like, Peach is she's visual. Like, it's always been that way. Like, everything that she's written has always been a visual story, more than, I will say though, Demon Wars, the Civil War one, that one was very like lore heavy and built a story, and there was a lot of dialogue. But I think for this one, we're really getting into the weeds of just like a typical manga high school anime kind of feel, like that's really how this book feels, where we've got these characters who are in a part of their life where they don't really understand what they're doing with them, and then on top of that, they're fucking mutants, like they're gaining these mutant powers. So like, put that on top of just dealing with high school, right? Like, and I also think like the psychological viewpoint of the book and some of the stuff that we're dealing with, like the trauma that we're dealing with the book, this one wasn't as heavy as the previous one, where we were dealing with a character who's like clearly dead and seeking revenge, and it looks like we're dealing with some kind of suicide. Whereas like in this one, we're dealing with more of like a domestic abuse with this character, with the Storm character. So like, there are heavy themes in the book, but yeah, I totally get that criticism of like, it reads quick, because there's not a lot of, like, it's more visual than there is dialogue. So, I liked it. I loved it. It was great.
Sorry, I was reading Joe's comment. I didn't think about that. Did you read? Doesn't think Maystorm is a mutant. That she didn't get her powers until she was scratched by the cat.
Scratched by the cat.
So maybe she's possessed more than a mutant.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm intrigued. I don't know. I like that. I also like that. She's keeping the Japanese horror style in the book too. I mean, we didn't get it as much in this book, but it's still there. Like her dad doesn't just seem like he's a jerk. Like, he seems like there's something wrong.
Oh yeah, there's. It's either going to be, I think you said it before, it may be the Shadow King or some kind of demon related.
Yeah.
Like we kind of did that with Venom and Carnage, where they were types of Japanese demons. So.
Oh, right. Right.
I'm only aggravating the thing is about the book is it expensive for a very quick read. This feels like armor book more than an X-Men book. I think we're about to jump into some X-Men though. Like, they really kind of foretold or foreshadowed like more mutants coming in, because like with her like just dropping them like, oh, y'all are mutants. Like, I think we're getting there. Betsy Cola cover. I'm sticking with the book for the foreseeable future.
I didn't see
Imagine if we made a Bumblebee.
Bumblebee.
Called it Bumblebee. called the Transformers book. I mean, that's basically what they're doing with like Transformers movies right now, which is kind of frustrating. Like, I just want the Transformers. Though the Beast Wars movie was great. That was oof. Right. Okay, real quick. X-Men Forever issue number 4. Kieran Gillen is having a silly goose time over here, and he's really setting up some dominoes when it comes to ending the Krakoan era. And I think there will be a saving grace with Kieran Gillen. I know that it's been a little bumpy, but I think he is on his way to. I don't know if it's optimism or what, but I think he's going to stick the landing. I think he is. I think he's going to get it into a place where whatever Gary Jerry is being told to do by Marvel, Kieran Gillen's going to just like, okay, cool, and this is where, and we landed. So we were talking about what that it would appear that the sinister enigma was basically trying to make it where Hope didn't exist, and we were wrong. He wasn't trying to erase her from time. He was basically making it so that he was the daddy of Hope Summers, and at the end of it. And so for a blip of a second in the white hot room, Hope becomes a child of the Enigma. Essentially, he achieves his goal and basically convincing Hope's mother to have her with him rather than Cable. And so, like, when we're in the white hot room and she's trying to basically kill the Phoenix, she gets the crown symbol on her head where a diamond would be, where the sinister diamond would be, but it was the crown, the Enigma crown. And like, it was just like, oh shit, like I kind of didn't see that coming. But then Jean goes into time and is able to convince Hope's mother, like, hey, like, you need to do this. Like, your daughter is the linchpin to all of this. Like, whatever happens, we need her. Yeah. So she wins. Hope dies and is resurrected as the actual Phoenix. And Jean is now moving forward with whatever the plan is, however this is going to end. We also get some development again with Raven and Destiny, and her lack of empathy towards Nightcrawler has been reversed by Xavier. So she is now feeling motherly towards Kurt, and that's great. I thought that was awesome. So, and we have Raven like taking charge. She's looking like a badass. So like, the way that Kieran Gillen is setting up this ending towards X-Men has got me hopeful. I think he's going to stick the landing with he has done his homework with whatever Hickman did. He has done his homework with what he has done and is clearly finishing up storylines in a proper way rather than a very rushed way. And I think that's evident because we have this X-Men Forever book. Like, when it first got announced, I was like, wait, what are we doing here? So we're basically, this is, his 0.5 issues. No, these actually feel meaningful outside of like when there were 0.5 issues of Spider-Man and they just like felt like a sales gimmick rather than like something genuine. So I'm excited for it. I genuinely liked the book. I thought it was a lot of fun. So I'm as much as I am sad to see the Krakoa era go, I'm ready. Kieran Gillen has definitely has basically got me into a good place where I'm like, I'm ready to let go, and I'm not upset about it anymore. I'm not like, oh, it's over, or oh, thank God it's over. It's like, all right, cool, it's over. Like, here we go. How do y'all feel about Storm joining the Avengers? And McKay comments saying Storm needs to be on the book with characters that's her equal, and not a member of the X-Men book. Is that shade against the X-Men?
Is she straight up joining the Avengers completely?
It sounds like she's becoming an Avenger.
See, I didn't get that from the solicitation. That's not what I got in this. She seems like she's chilling to help for a little bit, but I mean, I could be wrong.
How do you feel about it? Like, well, if she's a permanent member of the team or for a while, how do you feel about that? Do you like it?
I mean, I'm okay with more Storm in things in comics.
Right.
She's one of my favorite characters, so I want to see her around. And Jed McKay is like one of the few writers who I just totally trust right now. So I don't really see a problem. I don't know. I don't know.
I think in general, X-Men popularity is about to go through the fucking roof. It's going through the roof because of X-Men 97. Like,
Yeah.
like I'll be honest with you. When I was a kid, I was not a fan of Storm. Like, I just wasn't. Like, I just never. I'm being honest with you. Like, I was like, oh, she can make it rain, because like the way they portrayed her in the show, she wasn't really like, her power level was not. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong. But I just remember when Storm showed up, I was like, oh, she, like, the way they portrayed her is like, oh, she can make it windy and storm. And like, I remember being like, oh, that's kind of whatever. You know, like, shoot lasers out of your eyes, dude. Like, that's what. And again, I was a kid. But now I feel like every mutant right now, especially with our age group, like, we're all going like, fucking yeah, Jubilee and Storm and like, you know, like everyone is just turned to 11 right now. And I really do believe it's because of X-Men 97. I think X-Men in a really big way are about to explode. And so that's why I'm incredibly hopeful for what's going to happen after Krakoa. Like, I feel like I really do believe that this nostalgic feeling that we're getting with X-Men 97 is going to translate into the comics. And I think it's gonna be cool. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. Because, like, you know, when we heard the the quotes from the editor that's gonna be in charge of the X books, we were kind of like, like, that doesn't sound good. Now I'm kind of hoping it was a red herring, and it was more of him just seeing like, well, let's see what the comic blogs write about me here, and let's see how many YouTube videos are gonna come out that say like, oh god, the X-Men books are gonna be horrible. Like, we'll have to wait and see. But I think the X-Men are due for some, I'm not going to say game-changing like Krakoa, but I think that the nostalgia factor does play into the excitement of where X-Men comics are going. I'll just say that. And I think Storm is becoming even more of a center figure within the X-Men. And as for what you're saying there about like, does she need to be on I think she, in my opinion, yeah, I think Storm belongs on the Avengers. Like, she's kind of one of these OP characters that, like, why wouldn't you have a character like that on Omega level threats to the Earth? Like, doesn't that make sense?
Yeah, and here's the way I look at it now that I've like finally getting in order. Mm-hmm. To me, the way it's been set up a lot is like the X-Men is just like the mutant Avengers, right? But the Avengers has always had mutants on it, whereas the X-Men have never had humans on there, or superpowered humans. And if there are like just in my opinion, and everyone's going to yell at me for being biased, but like Cyclops should never be on an Avengers team, because Cyclops isn't a good character to be a bridge between humans and mutants. He can't do that. He's not capable of doing it.
Right.
Storm has been and is capable of that. I think Storm would be a wonderful representative on the Avengers team, because not only is she good with removing herself from the whole mutant thing, like Scott can't, and that's not just Scott, like there are a lot of characters too that just can't get over the fact that we're the oppressed mutants and we've got to be this thing. And Storm is able to actually transcend that and be representative of all people. And I don't know, I think that shows the strength of her character.
Joe,
used more.
I like that point too. I can see McKay setting up a big crossover event with the two books, Avengers versus X-Men Part 2. I can see an X-Men versus Avengers Part 2, but it not feel like a carbon copy of the first event. I can see, because McKay is killing it right now, I could see him like genuinely creating a massive divide within the Avengers because Storm is on the team. Like, let's just talk about this right here really quick. The drama and the tension that is going to be built between Storm and Black Panther, like, you know, like they were married and now they're not together anymore. There's a little bit of tension there. And like, if there's an Avengers versus X-Men, but if it's more of like the Marvel versus crossover series where like all hell is breaking loose and people are picking sides, and it's not Avengers versus X-Men. It's just heroes versus heroes. Like, I could see McKay doing, like, I don't know, man. McKay for me right now is just cooking. And I don't think so I think it's odd that McKay said Storm is too big to not lead the X-Men, but good to be part of the Avengers. I need to read it, read the quote, but I think the way I interpret that is more of, she's so goddamn strong, like, that she was the freaking Queen of Mars. You know what I mean? Like you need, like, if there's some shit going down in the universe, why wouldn't you call Storm? Like, it's kind of a no-brainer, you know? Like, it's almost like, hopefully she comes on and Thor's like, all right, I'm out. I got to go do my own thing. Like, you got this covered, babe, you know? And then Jaden, no, I agree. I hate that they're not married. I want to see that. I want to see them married. And Storm and Scarlet Witch is no more mutant than, no more mutant her kind. But she's not more, yeah. Well, I don't, there's that connection there too. She's a witch. Like, we've established that within the Krakoa area that she's a magic user, that she is some form of magic user. So it's crazy. It's going to be crazy cool. I think just, like I told you, I think we're on the cusp of some really crazy shit going down in Marvel Comics. Like, I think Blood Hunt is, and it's so stupid. This sounds so stupid for me to say. Like, I feel like Blood Hunt is the tip of us just getting into, like, some crazy shit. And you, like, Nate, you would have never believed in a million years that I would ever say that.
No, not ever. The slightest bit. Not for any event.
All right, let's show her DC. Do we want to talk? Do you want to answer? I believe it was John's question. If we have time, I'm wondering what Nate's response is to Spectrograph and Pine and Merrimack cliffhanger.
Sure. Pine and Merrimack, I think every review I keep saying it, and like, it gets better issue. And like, yeah, like, that cliffhanger is wild. We'll go ahead and spoiler. You're not reading this book, right? Pine and Merrimack, you're done? Okay. So, spoiler for those that are, husband gets capped. He gets shot. I believe he's shot in the head. Like,
shit.
It appears that way. Obviously, it's comics, so we could be like, oh, it just grazed the side of his head. But it looks like a guy comes up behind, because she breaks in like she's going to go try to stop the sacrifice, and her husband is coming with backup. She's just got to stall him. And he's coming in with the police. He busts through the door, and he's like, yep, we're busting this up. And then the cop that's behind him's like, yeah, right, buddy, and like pulls out his gun. It turns out he's in the pocket of these crazy cultists too, and just shoots him in the head. Okay. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what Starks is going to do here. Maybe she's going to go off the deep end. Maybe I would imagine he's not dead. I don't feel like that's what we're doing here. But we'll see. Spectrograph, I will say my feelings are a little tepid. The artwork is amazing. Christian Ward is great, and he is really good on a horror. Like, that's perfect pairing. The story is, actually, I'm kind of had a problem with it. It was not as solid as I wanted. There was a lot left to wonder and a lot of mystery, and I think that's good sometimes in issue one, because you want what this is. I wonder what that is. I wasn't really interested in any of the answers to those questions from the first issue. Also, and this is way personal, and in no way will I hold this against the book in any sort of like official review, but like the whole leaving your baby at home and then being like, yeah, he'll be okay for a few hours, like that like hurts my soul, and like I understand that like we're establishing like how much of a decrepit piece of shit this woman is, but like I don't like it. I don't want to read a story about a baby possibly sitting in its own filth and crying all night. I don't want to think about that.
That's not good.
However, it is James Tynion. I will be reading forward 100%. But yeah, I would say it's probably probably his weakest or second weakest book that I've read so far. It's not a great first issue.
What did you think of? I know we didn't get to to review it because we didn't have a show. But what did you think about the Blood Brothers Mother?
Quite terrible. Quite terrible. Did not enjoy it at all. The art was really good. The atmosphere was great. Like we were there. But one really big glaring issue was that
What you cut out there?
All the characters looked exactly the same. Imagine my criticism for what was that other Western book? The Enfield Gang Massacre. It's the exact same thing. I can't tell who's who. They're all white dudes with mustaches. It also, the entire first issue is one of those like gotchas where you think you know who the main character is, and then it turns out that it's not. And it was done in a way that was kind of awkward to me.
Okay.
Again, it was I don't know what it is, but it really turned. Yeah, I don't think I'll pick up issue 2. If someone I respect says no, if someone in chat's like, no, Nate, you need to read issue 2, I'll go read it, but not on my own.
Got it. John says, yeah, child neglect in the spectrograph makes me feel tense, uncomfortable, and ill. The worst is the child neglect is also in lots of cases. Heard of a lady who left a baby while she went on vacation. She's in jail. What? God damn. What the fuck? All right, let's talk about Batman and Robin. Look, I don't want to be negative, but I will say the minute Flatline is no longer in this book is when I am out on this book. I just don't like. It doesn't feel. I don't know. I don't feel like we're doing anything crazy in the like. I don't want to say we're not doing anything crazy. It just doesn't intrigue me. I think is the best way to say it. Like again, I'm not really here for another Batman book. I like Damian. I like the Damian Flatline dynamic, and I like him kind of trying to like solve mysteries within his high school. I think that's cool. But the whole Batman thing, like. Look, man, Batman has 1 million books right now on the shelves. I don't need another one with him in it. And it's like, I don't feel like he's really contributing anything to the story. Like, he's in the way right now. Like, he got captured. And now Damian's got to go save his dad. Like, okay, cool. Whereas, like, I'd rather, like, when they're like, when Flatline's like, go save your dad. I'm like, no. Don't leave this dynamic. Like, this is what we've wanted. You built this over in the Robin series. It should continue. Not, I got to go save daddy. Like, who cares? Like, I'm not here for it, like, and I know, I'm sure, I don't know if anyone's asked yet, but like, what are our thoughts with, DC's little, Ultimate Universe?
Absolute Power?
No, we're not even going to talk about Absolute Power because we'll be talking about it all summer. Anyway, you derailed me.
The Elseworlds story.
Elseworlds stories, again, like if you look at them and you look at it, like it's all Batman except outside of one book, which is a Green Lantern book, and they all look like a majority of them look like they're all in a medieval era. So it's like death metal, but without the metal, and like I'll keep it short and sweet. I'm not excited about DC right now. There are a handful of books right now that I'm really excited about with DC, and most of them are either getting canceled or are about to get completely run over with a massive Absolute Universe. That's what you're talking about. Yeah, whatever. Their Ultimate, whatever. I'm not excited for it because almost every book is dealing with Batman, and I like Batman, but he has too many fucking books. Like, I just don't care about a Deathstroke Viking. I don't. Or Viking Deathstroke. I don't care about a medieval Batman. I just don't care. Where's Superman? Where's Flash? You know what I mean? Like, where are the other heroes? Where's Wonder Woman? Like, the Green Lantern book to me looks cool. Like, that looks dope. But I'm sorry. I just can't. I can't do it. Anyway, this book was fine. It did its thing, right? It basically told us exactly what we've known, which is Hush and the Damian's teacher are in the high school, and he found that out. Yay! Like that. Like, we didn't do anything new outside of like Bruce getting kidnapped by the man bat or whatever the fuck that thing is. Like that is the only thing that we did new, and I don't really care. So I'm sorry. Joe, Batman Books pays for a Poison Ivy book and Sea Boy.
That is true.
Hey,
I don't know. That Poison Ivy book's kind of covering itself now.
that's what I've heard. Holden says, howdy, joining late. Ultimate X-Men was great. It was great. We had a really good time talking about it. But I'm glad you're here, Holden. I'm only excited to see how Nightwing finishes. 100%.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about our last book of the night. Green Lantern, issue number 11, Empire of Blood. Yo, talk about a DC book that I'm actually like really enjoying.
Yeah.
This was great. The brutality of it. This League of Planets, which when it was first introduced, I was like, I don't care. And now I'm like, dude, they wrecking shit, you know? And I know you had brought up just kind of being tired of Hal and his relationship. What's the name of her?
Carol.
Like the will they, won't they? But I felt like it was done really well in this issue. I was 100%.
I have to eat crow for what I said in the.
Okay.
It worked really well.
I thought it was good. I think this book is really good. And it's really unfortunate that on what is it called? Absolute Power.
Absolute Power. Yep.
Is about to
tying in a couple of issues.
Absolute Power is about to ruin every DC book that we're reading. And I understand. I just realized that Mark Waid and Dan Mora are doing the main books.
You're gonna read them.
I am gonna fucking read them, but it's just like I'm pissed about it because
I am too.
Here's why I'm gonna be pissed about it, because it's probably gonna be really fucking good, and then once it's over, it will be just a fucking footnote that's like, and then it didn't happen, or it doesn't matter because now this is what's happening, and you're like. Nothing matters. Why did we spend? And that's why I'm not going to do, like, if Absolute Power is not happening in a book that I'm reading, I'm not going to pick it up. If it's not happening in Batman.
28 total issues.
No. Just like Blood Hunt. Like, I'm liking Blood Hunt, but I'm not picking up anything extra. Just reading the books that I have. Anyway, Green Lantern was dope. I love that. What I like is that we're building this concept that Earth is going to become. I can see how this could be a negative, but I feel like Earth is about to become the epicenter of the Lantern Corps universe, because like the Sapphire engine or battery was blown up, and then Carol gets a ring, and you're like, well, where did that come from? And I think it's really safe to assume that there's probably a battery on Earth. And we've
seen the battery on Earth.
Oh, I didn't know that. No, we've seen the Green Lantern. We've seen the Green Lantern.
Oh, no. She gets hers whenever in this issue. Remember, they go and slaughter the Scarlet people, the Love people.
Right, but they blew up the battery. What I'm trying to say is, I think Earth is gonna have some kind of like in its core, will have all the spectrums. So like anyone on Earth can be one of the whether it's rage or greed or love or willpower or fear. I think that's where I could be wrong, but I think it would be really kick-ass if Earth basically had the ability to have like a universal battery. Maybe it's the white one. I don't know. Maybe it's a rainbow spectrum battery. I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, I feel like we're building towards this idea that Earth is going to have access to all the spectrums of power rings. And we're going to see this new core being developed on Earth, where we have yellow lanterns and green lanterns and red lanterns and sapphire and blue and orange and like white and black, whatever. Like, I'm just saying, that's how excited I am and loving this book right now. That like the fact that I'm even having that thought tells you that this book is good, because it's giving you these Like that's what Hickman's X-Men books did. We were like, well, what if this happens? Oh shit, what if we get, oh man, and like we were just diving down this rabbit hole, and some of them were true and some of them were not. And I feel like we're going to this point where Earth will basically be will be the new Oa, and cores will be gravitating towards Earth rather than the government of planets or whatever the fuck they're called. You know what I mean?
The United Planets.
United Planets, yeah. So I liked it. I thought it was a great book. Joe says, I dropped most of my DC books to read more independence. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to correct myself.
Mm-hmm.
I said that Absolute Power was going to be 27 issues. That's only including the tie-ins through issue 2 of Absolute Power, and it's 5 issues. So we're looking more like 60-something of Absolute Power.
Can't do it.
Oops.
Joe says, Adam has become one of my favorite writers. His Flash run was amazing, and this is awesome as well. I'm right there. I need this cover.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I love the cover.
I had to block him on Twitter. He runs his
block
mouth.
one. Say again.
Huh?
You broke up.
Oh, I said I had to block him on Twitter. He's not a very good politically minded man. He kind of runs his mouth. Like, not even in like, it's not even that I disagree with what he's saying. It's like he just is kind of
stupid
offensive
shit
about it. So I had to block him. But I do like his Green Lantern book.
Me too, Joe. But I kept Superman. I'm. No, I won't. But like, I was looking at August solicitations, and like DC knows what they're doing. They're bringing back all of like the original artists and writers and whatever to all their books to be like, hey, buy it back, come back and read it, come buy it. It's the same team that you like. And then like 2 issues later, they're not gonna be there, so don't fall for it, guys. I'm just saying, like, buy it if you want, but if you're frustrated like us when it comes to like the lack of consistency with creative teams, don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, that's cool. I got is Superman, Nightwing, Batman, Justice League, King Kong, Godzilla. I got the Absolute Power foil cover for Free Comic Book Day. I still haven't read my Free Comic Book Day books. I need to, like, desperately. So
I didn't get any of them.
All right. Well, I bet they still have some.
They don't. That's...
Well, that's gonna do it for episode 174 of Two Fat Guys Pool List. Anyway, thank you guys for watching and just having a silly good time with us and talking. Thank you everybody for the super chats and all of our members, Holden, Patty, John, Joe. Hey, I got it. I did it. I got all 4 of them.
Nice.
I was like rapid fire. Yeah, thanks guys for watching. Anyone that's watching this as a past episode, we do appreciate you. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that bell. We'll catch you guys this Tuesday for a new comic book day, which I'm very excited about because there are a couple books that I'm like super stoked about. And we'll see, what independence Nate's got, which ones he liked and which ones he didn't. And y'all jumping on Jason Aaron's TMNT. I vaguely saw that. I saw that he was writing a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'll think about it.
I've never been a big Turtles guy.
My kids are, so I kind of want to, but we'll see. But anyway, we'll catch you guys Tuesday, and then we'll be right back here again Sunday, where we'll talk about all those books and more. And maybe we'll do like a recap of X-Men 97 because I still haven't watched the final. I watched the penultimate. I haven't watched the final episode, even though I have seen little TikToks here and there, which I'm super stoked about. I haven't watched the episode in its entirety, so I need to watch it. So maybe we'll talk about that next week.
Was the ending already ruined for you?
What do you think?
You ruined it for yourself.
I mean, I'm not gonna watch something on TikTok if it pops up. Like if I see everyone in Egypt and then the guy pulls his fucking face mask off.
Hold on. More chats.
Chat. Hey, chat. Anyway, we'll catch you guys next week and we'll talk about it. But anyway, next week will be beefy. That's right, Joe. We'll catch you guys next Tuesday. As always, fam, be kind to one another and read more comics. We'll catch you guys next week. Later, guys. Thank you, Patty. We